I think it's safe to say that we want you to fight the enemy with all that you can muster. Fight, fight, fight. Have we seen the enemy?
In the mirror.
You've heard, we've seen the enemy and it is us. Or you are your own worst enemy. We encourage you to fight the enemy. That's the only enemy in your life. You are what is precluding you from gaining all the remedy in everything. This government is truly perfect. It's just off the charts. Perfect is defined not only as flawless, which we don't contend it is, but whole or complete is another definition for perfect. So we contend this government is perfect because Jack and I and Brandon do cases with students and people day in, week in, month out. And it unerringly does not fail that contract law holds true. Those that adhere to the principles, they are helping their brother resolve the matter, and I think we talk about it. There's only one reason. Is it not true there's both a public and a private trust that run parallel in today's society? Yes. Is it not true that the public has not the resources to resolve all problems in private? They can't fix everything. Is it not true that the only reason that public trustees, policemen, judges, courts are involved in the remedy of any problems is because the private parties fail to resolve it? They don't come into your life till there's an unresolved private problem. And that would be either under public law or private law. Public law dealing with individuals and the relationship to the state, with the state acting as an entity capable of being perceived as a private entity, private individual. And then private law, which is individual to individual. So, and then is it not true? If that's true, that the only reason they're involved is the private parties fail to resolve it, then once you learn to resolve and come into harmony, you're not going to have any run-in with the public, except mere little periodic testing, because they get to see whether they're dealing with some of their errant cattle. Chattel, cattle, all one and the same. So, forgive me, Brandon, go ahead and finish, but
yeah,
we're excited for you to fight the enemy, and the enemy is never anybody else. It is only, merely, singularly, completely just you. Once you've conquered you and your ignorance, because ignorance and freedom cannot coexist. Think about that. Ignorance and freedom cannot coexist. Once you understand that, and you accept they always do it right, and you're not getting remedy, then you know the problem. It's me. Me, 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 me. Not me, give me something. It's me, me, me that is the problem. And the sooner you do that, and next time you hear people whining and reviling about government, about their brother and sister, about whatever, go back to James Allen. A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revile and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. You are the regulator. You are the governor that determines the speed you're going to go through life.
And so that's the one thing I want to get across, that we've seen success in coming from a place of peace.
Weekly. Every week we see it.
There's no need to ever resort to violence, even in your attitude, because that will be something that works against you. When we have students who go into court with this righteousness or sense of entitlement, which is really something that we, as people seeking an alternative to the system as it is, we have this that's one of our natural enemies that lives within us, this sense of entitlement, this sense of righteousness. Not that it's wrong, but it is something that you will contend with and will stand in your way in getting your remedy. That you're better than them. That they're ignorant and you're smart. And you're going to explain how smart you are and what you know. So be careful in the things that you do, and be mindful that, because there are a lot of people out there who are teaching the exact same things we're teaching as far as mechanics, but they teach it in a context of those bastards. We got to get them. We got to break their legs and we got to shoot them. I've seen it being said. And if your approach is, we got to go out there and we got to knock some heads, be prepared. Your head may be the one that gets knocked.
You know, you have good sense. The government has aircraft carriers, nuclear weapons, and all sorts of stuff. You know, on a serious note, are you just completely out of your mind? You know, if we're going to go get a fight, let's pick on somebody small. You know? So if you get it in your mind that it's pointless, one, from Brandon, Jack, and I's point of view, I like to think it, you could serve God or you could serve man. That's your two choices. Debtor, creditor. Choose you this day whom you're going to serve. If you serve God, then you would handle it the way God would have you handle it. He's told you how to do everything. How do you fix up an angry word from an officer? With a soft response. Not with a vocal, loud, you know, and understand these things. These judges, and we see it on a weekly basis. Our students are in court. We file certain paperwork, and those judges, just like this gentleman, the basketball player we talked about earlier, on May 20th, that judge for the first time treated this guy like a creditor. Said nice things, was soft-spoken. They were shocked. His friends and family were shocked. And he gave him 60 days to resolve it. And at 60 days, he didn't resolve it, and he was pretty stern about his warning, and he just hung with his position. I just got off the phone with one of their friends, and they said, now I see it, now I understand what you're talking about. I said, what, just tell you finally? She goes, oh, I can't believe we did this. You bought some hook, line, and sinker. No fighting, just harmony, ladies and gentlemen.